Hello, I'm Tracy from Toronto, Canada, and welcome to my Fiber Arts Knitting and Crocheting podcast. I'm doing a special video today. It's not going to be our normal video where I show what I'm working on and my finished objects, but today I wanted to do a blanket roundup. A few episodes ago, I talked about really diving into blanket making, and I'm really good at starting blankets. And would really like to get better at finishing them. I'm sure that some of you could relate to that. So stick with me and let's go through all my blanket whips. So right now in November, I have 7 blankets on the needles or on the crochet hook. It's a lot. I'd like to pare that down. So I'm gonna go through all the blanket projects I have, and 6 of them I love and I do want to finish. One of them I am considering frogging, so I'd love your advice on that one. What else? Also, yes, I also have a few blanket recommendations for you, some new ones that are on my radar that I haven't started yet, and I am not starting until some of these blankets are finished. So it's that time of year where, we spend, especially here in Toronto, Canada, we spend a little bit more time, actually we spend a lot more time inside. So it's really nice to work on a blanket. And the thing about blankets, usually for me, a lot of them are long-term projects. So you don't see the gratification and the oh, I'm almost done in a couple of weeks, like you do other garments or even accessories a couple of days. These are like month-long and sometimes year-long projects. But I always say, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, just keep doing it. Okay, let's start. I'm gonna start with 2 that you've seen recently and then some you've actually never seen. So my first one, and I hope the lighting's okay. We're having a really dark day. I put on my ring light, but it's really not helping very much. And I've noticed on my last video, I have shadows. So I apologize for that, but it's, Canadian girl podcasting, November. You're not gonna get the best light, but you will be able to see what I'm talking about. Oh, and I am wearing a knit. This is my Ranunculus. I'm pretty sure I made it last year. It is a great pattern. Everybody knows it. Everyone's made more than one. I have made more than one, but I didn't like it on me. I don't know what happened, but it did not look good. This one I like. This is made out of a sport yarn from Knit Crate when they used to have a company, and it is great. I need tops with lots of holes right now, so it works well. Okay, back to blankets. Let me just take a sip. I don't think I said who I am. I'm GrizzlieKnits. You can find me GrizzlieKnits on Instagram. Please follow there because I share lots of things that I'm working on and doing. And on Ravelry, I am GrizzlieKnits as well. Okay, first blanket up is my temperature blanket. So I'm going to show it a little bit. When I'm done this, and this will be done December 31st, I will do some really good pictures so you can see the whole thing. But basically, a temperature blanket is checking the temperature every day and making a stripe coordinating to that temperature. So before you even start, you get a whole bunch of colors together. I used acrylic loops and thread that I got at Michael's, and I just picked a bunch of colors that I liked because I knew that if I was gonna do like a primary blanket or something, I probably wouldn't like it as much as if I did more neutrals. So I did these colors, there's quite a few. Oh. And I also did, I do the pink stripe for I do the gray stripe for somebody's birthday. So as you can see, it's a labor of love. It's a lot. So I started off strong And I love how it's like, you know, really light here, because if you think about it, I started it January 1st on 4mm needles. And then you can see we started having some warmer days, and then you've got like really warm days in the summer, and now we're starting again, going back. It's lots of fun, and there are so many videos on temperature blankets, different ways you can do temperature blankets. This striped blanket, I just want to give you this is called the Rib Temperature Blanket by Gabarielle Vezina. I will link everything down below, all the patterns that I've used, and if I've made up something, I will just write the numbers that I did. So this was a really fun blanket. I'm losing steam. I think I talked about that. Yeah, so this is where I showed you last time. And it's been a couple months. That's not a couple months worth. So I'm not finding I'm doing it every day anymore. But now that I'm like November, I'm like pushing myself. Okay, you've got this. November, December. Two things I'm thinking. One, should I do a border? Because there's lots of little ends poking through. It's not the prettiest. I could see them popping out. So I'm thinking a nice border might be good. And I also put in, if you can see that, a stitch marker for the beginning of every month. So I'm trying to think, how could I how can I do that? Like, how can I, okay, that was November, that was December, you know, just, I don't know, like, I don't know the word I'm looking for. Show the different months. Like, I could put just a little stitch to show myself the different months. That might be fun. Anyway, lots to think about, but we're almost there. I would not do this again just because it is a lot, but I'm glad I did it. It was fun. So that's blanket 1. Okay, blanket 2 you've seen too. Blanket 2, I've put a lot of work into it. Let me just grab it here. It's in my Jenna Rose beautiful bag. This is a Canadian bag maker. I love her stuff. So this is going to be a gift, and my son's girlfriend was over and she gave me a fantastic idea. So let me just tell you, this is how it's looking. So I'm doing the daisy stitch squares, and I am doing mattress stitch, putting them together, which there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. And I'm losing steam on this too. So that's the thing with blankets. You do lose your steam. Again, I'm using the same yarn as the other blanket. I love this yarn. The loops and threads. I talk about the colors in another video if you're interested in the colors I used. So it's about 5 colors, and I just like grab what I grab kind of thing. So obviously it's not big enough, but like I said, I'm just getting really tired of making the squares. So, oops, that was my hook. What my son's girlfriend said, and she does crochet, she said finish it off as just a big square, so you can see like I'm almost there, right? So I have 1 here and 1 here, and then it's going to be a big square, and then start with all the leftover yarn, just a border, like a plain granny stitch border, and keep on going. So I quite like that idea. I think that would be kind of easy TV knitting, whereas granny squares are good, but they're, you know, for me, I have to watch. So maybe this would be better. So I'll just take all the yarn and just keep going, joining different yarns, maybe, I don't know, maybe an inch or 2 for each color to make it really quite large enough that someone could enjoy it, who's not 4'11.5" like me. Anyway, so that's blanket number 2. and that was fun. Okay, blanket number 3. I don't know if you've, oh, I was gonna say when I started these blankets. Hold on here. Temperature blanket, obviously January 1st, 2024. Crochet granny blanket, July 11th, 2024. It's been a little while. All right, next one. Okay, I'll do these 2. Yeah, these 2 are in this adorable basket that I thrifted. This is the Cozy Memory Blanket. You've seen this, like a lot of podcasters have made this. And it is by Kemper, and I started it on May 14th, 2023. Woo. This one's long. Okay, this is how it's looking so far. You do it with fingering, well, I mean, you could play around with it, but I'm doing it with fingering weight yarn in scraps. And what's this? I am really enjoying this, but it's just slow, slow, slow. There it is. Oh, I love it. It looks so pretty. It's a lot of fun. There's a reason that a lot of people make this. So here are my little needles. So I'm doing circular needles, 3.5 millimeter needles, and I just let them hang out there. And it just seems to be working really well. So I'm enjoying this. This has no time end. I love looking at the scraps. You know, you just throw your scraps in there. I can't remember how much. I think it's like 4 grams of yarn. I can't remember exactly, but it is like so little. Anyway, I enjoying this so much. I'm not worrying that there's months when I don't work on it. It's just living in here. It's living its best life right in this basket. Okay, we'll do the other blanket since we have my basket. So number 4 is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And I started this it was a birthday cast on January 14th of this year, 2024. If you're not familiar with this blanket, it's a circular blanket, which I've never done before. And this is how it looks so far. So it's a lot. It's with fingering scraps again, but I'm also loving it. It's a very engaging knit. It's just fun, easy, and I really, really like it. So I'm going to continue this one into 2025. That sounded weird. 2025. And we'll just see where it goes. Loving it. So this is going into 2025. This will be going into 2025. Temperature blanket will be done. And granny square blanket will be done. Okay, all right. We can deal with that. Okay, next is number, I'm going to show you my granny striped blanket. This was started a long time ago. The summer, I just have here this summer of 2023. So this was a long, again, fingering. See, when you pick all these fingering blankets and then you're like, oh wow, it's taking me a long time. Yeah, it is, because it's little yarn, but loving it. So it lives in this little basket here, and there's all these scraps. Oh, I just love the look of scraps. I am doing it on a 4.5 needle. I do mine a little bigger. I think I'm a tight crocheter. So that's 4.5 needle. And here it is. It is just your plain, run-of-the-mill granny striped blanket. I have not worked on this for a long time. Like, I'd say 6 months I haven't worked on this. But again, I like it. And I'm going to bring this into 2025. Look at the colors. This one, I've been putting like all sorts of colors into it. The other ones I'm kind of trying to keep in my neutral palette, but this one, you can have a lot of fun. Oh my goodness, this is my stitch marker of the progress I made. Not a lot of progress. That's okay. We're okay. That's pretty. Okay, so we'll keep on with that. It's hard because I'm excited to work on these, but I also want to start new ones. No. Okay, next is something that I loved so much starting, and I can't believe I have not worked on it in a while. So I wanted to learn how to make a log cabin blanket, or a log cabin thing, like a square. Let me just, yeah, long cabin blanket. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. I used, well, you know what? Let me show you it first, because you might be saying, what is this thing you speak of? I'm keeping my little IKEA basket. So here are my log cabin squares. This is one. They're so much fun. One, I got two. They look so like arty. Artsy. And three. So you can see, like, how cool are these? Like, if you do them together. Okay, and then I want to ask you a question of what I should do. So let's just talk a little bit about the actual pattern that I got. And you know what, it's been so long, I can't remember. Yeah, I started this July 15th of this year. I can't remember if I paid for this pattern or not. There's some videos, so I'm thinking, oh, it's very pinky, very pink. So maybe it was free by Staci Perry. She has amazing videos online of techniques. I always go to her site first when I want to learn something, because she's so great. This is a log cabin scrap blanket. And I'm sorry, it's been so long. Am I doing what she told me to do? Oh, I am. Okay. So I'm using worsted scraps. I don't have a ton of worsted scraps, so I'm actually putting together like a DK and a fingering sometimes. I'm just seeing what I have and seeing like, oh, look, is this? Yeah, this is this. So this is a sport. I'm just trying to, yeah, see what I have and what kind of fits. You know, if something looks a little smaller, then I won't do it, but I'm trying to put things together. So it's a true scrap blanket. I have a few in here, but not a lot. But believe me, I could look around here and find plenty. It's very cool. You start with a square, and then you pick up stitches. And my picking up stitches got better and better. Yeah, my picking up stitches, I think this was my first one, and it's a little bit rough. And then you kind of get your groove on, and it gets a bit neater. Yeah, so you make your square in the middle, and then she tells you how many to pick up and how many to, like, you know, cast on, and then you go from there. And it's very easy, but I love the look. It's so sweet. Now, my question is, do I keep going with a blanket, or how would this look cool as a pillow? Maybe not. I'm just thinking that's a weird shaped pillow. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep going with a blanket. But to be honest, it almost looks like art. Like, can't you see this like as a big kind of wall hanging, and then make loops in like a long branch, and then, you know, like it hangs on your wall? That could be really nice. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. Again, I'm really enjoying it. I want to get back to this. This will come with me into 2025. Log cabin blanket. Like it. All right. We are done with the actual blankets. I have one more. This one, I'm not so sure I'm going to continue. Let me take a quick sip. I started last year a Christmas blanket because I had so many, like, not so many, but a lot of bright colored yarn that I didn't know what to do with. So, for example, I got some really cute little minis. This one's by South Beach. It's got like a sparkle to it, if you can see that. Very sweet. And this just fun little guy came. I don't know, this was in something, but like they're just really fun. I could use them in socks, absolutely. I also, for 2 years, got the knitting, where the stripe a day, I forget what she's called. You know what I mean. Cozy knitter. Cozy knitter? Yeah. Where you do stripe a day socks, and then I have leftovers. Now I have seen someone do mitts with them and they look super cute. So again, I could do that. But I got in my head, and I keep them all in this cute little thrifted basket, to do a Christmas throw and then just bring it out at holiday time. Because I love all that. Anyway, I got the Anthology throw. No. Rewind. I got the pattern, the Habitation throw, again by Helen Stewart. And I started this last November 28th. And I got to here before I put it away. And I don't know, like, I like it. Should I continue it? Would it look cute? Like, would I bring it out? Would I like it? Oh, I kind of like it again. You can see I needed the needles and I just ripped it out. So they're all like just hanging out there live, ready to destroy the blanket. Oh, now I look at it, oh, I don't know what to do. Because if I do this, I have to work on this like ASAP, right? So it would be this big so far, so I'm not even halfway. Oh, it's really pretty. Okay, I've got to think that. Let me know what you would do if you were me. All right, now I want to tell you some of the blankets. Now we've had a tour of the blankets. Some of the blankets are on my radar, but I don't even feel like I have the right to talk about them because I have too many, but I am anyway. So, okay, we've got, all right, the first one that I love is, you've seen it because it's been everywhere, and I think it came out last year. It's called the Sweet Shop Blanket by Laura Penrose. It's a DK or hold two fingering together and on 4mm needles, and it looks so cute. I really, really like this blanket. Of course, I'm thinking I got an Advent, and boy, would it look cute with the Advent. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna move on. That's a nice blanket. Number 2, I found, so I found 4 blankets. 2 are paid and 2 are free. Okay. Number 2 is a little square. It's called Little Squares Knitted Blanket by Julie Harrison. I thought this was really cute. I love the look of this. Again, it's exactly like the Sweet Shop blanket. It's DK, or holding 2 fingering together. And the interesting part about it is you do it in strips and then you sew your strips together. That would drive some people nuts, I realize that. But I don't think I'm one of those people. I think that that would be kind of cool, like to give yourself, okay, I'm gonna do like a strip a week, or every 2 weeks I'm gonna do a strip and then sew them together. That might be really neat. Anyway, that's a blanket that I would definitely like to start. Number 3 is a free blanket. It's called Lily's Scrap Blanket by Jen Pack. It is fingering on a 3.75 millimeter needle. And it's a chevron pattern, and she says it's more like a recipe, which is kind of intriguing. It is, like I said, it is free. So you probably could make it baby size or bigger. And I like the idea of using the scraps. I thought that was a really neat idea. I love the chevron pattern. I have tried it a couple of times in crochet and somehow it always goes awry. So I like the fact knitting I could do. All right, and number 4 is a crocheted pattern. It's called the Picket Fence Baby Blanket. And the thing I liked about it, it looks so classic. Like just you could do it all in one color. It looks very easy, very like just, you know, Moorish, like just keep getting to that little eyelet row. But they're not too many eyelets for a baby blanket. Like I think it's kind of the perfect amount. It is worsted, and when I went on Ravelry, oh wait, it's worsted on 6 millimeter needles, which is a really nice, like, sounds like a quicker knit, a quicker crochet. Wait a minute, 6 millimeter hook, sorry. And somebody did a border on it, which looked so nice. And someone else did a Karen latte cake. So what that is, I went to Michael's just a few weeks ago and they have new cakes, different types of cakes. Hold on, let me show you what I mean by that. I bought this because I just fell in love with the color. This one's a Karen, Yarn Inspirations Karen macchiato cake, but this one, the other one's a latte. So this one is not too fluffy. It's hard to see in this light. But the other one is all fuzzy, and it looked so good. It's like, you know, a color progression, and but it was a fuzzy blanket, and it just looks so snuggly and cuddly, like to give as a gift. I don't know, I love that one. Okay, so those are all my blankets that are calling my name, Tracy. But I'm like, no, don't call my name, because I have things to finish and big decisions to make. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about my blanket obsession. If you're working on any blankets, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you have also the trouble of starting blankets and then wanting to work on them, but they get pushed aside, that's tough too. So let me know about that. What I've been trying to do to curb that is picking 2 blankets a week to work on. So the past week, since we talked last, I've been working on the temperature blanket and the one that's a gift, the granny square blanket. I'd like to get those finished. Well, the granny square blanket I'd like to get finished before I pick up another one. So I'm thinking I'll pick up another one and try for a week just to really concentrate on that blanket amongst, 10 other projects. But anyway, as long as you're having fun. And I will be back next week with a regular podcast to show you what I'm working on, what I've cast on, and all that good stuff. Have a great week. Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.